Buckle up, excellence junkies, because this podcast is definitely for you. Welcome to Rocket Fuel. Do you wish that you could surround yourself with people that love to kick ass just like you? Well, come to my party, baby, and meet some of the brightest stars in the entrepreneurial galaxy, because it is my mission to give these entrepreneurs a platform to declare what they are on this planet to accomplish and to show you why they are rocket fuel. And we're live, guys. This is my teaser episode for this amazing interview that I just had with Dr. Natoshia Anderson. She is the nerdy STEM queen, and her mission is to help women of color that are STEM professionals ascend as STEM professionals, be the leaders and the influencers that they can in that wonderful world of science, technology, engineering, and math. Thank you so much, Dr. Toshia, for joining us. We had such a great conversation. We definitely went over.
Yeah, we did. But these conversations are so needed, and I'm really happy that you gave me this platform for us to even have the conversation. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you again.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit of why supporting women of color as STEM professionals. Why is that even important to you?
Oof. So it's important to me because I am in the business of reproducing myself. So I'm a Black woman engineer. And so I've always
mechanical engineer too.
Mechanical engineer, that's right. So I'm really in that business of saying, hey, we can do this thing. We have the skills, the talent, the abilities. We just need opportunities. And so for more of us to keep to be a part of shoring up the STEM pipeline. So that's my business, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it. All right. So let's talk about shoring up the STEM pipeline. This is like really important for people to understand. Bottom line, guys, if you don't understand the whole science, technology, engineering, math world, there aren't a lot of women in the room to begin with. And then when you're talking about having a woman of color in the room, it's like, unicorns, right? So, right, so your mission, you felt that, you experienced what it was like to be that way. And I think what's really impressive in taking your experience to say, you know what, this has been interesting. This is a challenge, but the way that we help the situation is to stop seeing the unicorns, to actually just have more women of color in this field. And so for you to be able to say, look, I'm going to take the experience and not just navigate through it for my own self ascension, but to kind of pivot and say, I want to see more women of color in this room. That's a big twist. And so we didn't talk about this in the longer episode, but what was that process like? Like when did you finally decide, I'm not going to be a mechanical engineer anymore, I'm going to actually dedicate myself to trying to replicate myself?
Yeah. It actually happened pretty early on. I probably stayed about 2 years longer than I should have, because I was scared. I was scared to make the leap and do the thing. But it just kept coming back to me, right? Like, Toshia, this is what you need to be doing. You want to be a part of the solution, understand, and have experienced the problem.
Yep.
You have an idea of what things are needed for the solution to happen. You have to decide if you're going to be bold enough, brave enough to do it.
Right.
And it took me about 2 years to say, you know what, for me, this is what it looks like. And so for me, that meant leaving the profession that I loved, and going into education and starting on an entrepreneurship journey at the same time.
Wow. Oh my gosh. But you see, this is what happens when like you can't shut up that voice in your head, right? It's like there's something in your head, in your heart that's saying, It's a calling.
Right.
Like there's something I need to do about this. So currently, do you work as a mechanical engineer now, or are you completely dedicated to entrepreneurship?
So no, I don't work as a mechanical engineer. I'm a hybrid. So I have my own
Uh,
business, which is doing great things, but I'm also doing a lot of full-time consulting work. And so, which is, again, it's under the guise of my own business, but I feel like once I enter into your company, I'm a part of it. So it's a very
yeah.
interesting place to be, and a very interesting place to navigate. But I'm enjoying it. And it's
Yeah.
exactly what I know, it's exactly what I need to be doing and the place in which I need to be doing it, because the thought of not doing it is even more scarier than it was when I felt like I needed to leave engineering.
Right, right, right. So as the nerdy STEM queen, how is it that you support other women of color
Oh,
in
okay. So
STEM?
this is great. So I have I have the STEM Power Her Hour where we can talk. You can call me, set an appointment. I'm yours for an hour. We can talk through whatever it is you want to talk through. You have a situation, issue, you want to plan out your goals for your future. You want to talk over some of the tips that we talk over. You want to put some actionable plans in place. You think you already have them. This hour is for you. So that's one
Yeah.
way to do it. I have group coaching sessions. So if you don't want to do it alone, there are others who want to pair and partner with you, and we go through some of the very same things that
That's
we.
interesting. No, I apologize. It's just it's valuable um for these women to actually connect with other women that are experiencing the same things, because sometimes it feels very lonely. You're like, did I make this up in my head? Am I being too sensitive? Am I the only person that's experiencing these struggles? And then once you kind of understand that it's okay, it's a thing, and then your approach to it is differently too. It's less personal, right? It's just kind of like, okay, it's not about me as Wanda,
Right. Well, here's what I've learned during these coaching program is that they can actually be more personal, because, and I say that in the sense of, you get a group of minority women together and they start seeing, oh, okay, she's had a similar experience. So it kind of pulls the group together in a really personal way. Where they know they become each other's support system, which is really, really nice.
Yes.
It.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and let me correct myself in the sense of not being personal. I meant that when you're experiencing something in the workplace and you don't know that there are other women of color in STEM that are maybe experiencing some of those things, you may take it as like there's an issue with Wanda, and it's like, oh no, this is a thing that women of color or women are experiencing, and then you get this connection. But to be able to open up that personal story, that's really powerful to connect with each other. So that's kind of interesting, because then they have your guidance, but also the strength of community. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Love it. That I love. And so those are the two. One-on-one coaching is, if you have deeper issues and you want to talk with me about those, then we do those as well. So those are my programs as Dr. Toshia.
As Dr.
Toshia. You get me. Love them.
Well, I'm going to allow people to get a little appetizer of Dr. Toshia, because you did, everybody knows listening that every episode has a catchword, and you did put together this really amazing resource on 3 tips on how to manage up. Okay. And this is a big challenge for all of us. And I think it's an extremely powerful resource for these women of color in STEM, because it's about kind of understanding, first of all, what is it that you want out of this professional experience, and looking inward, and then figuring out how to manage those relationships with your manager or managers, right? To help people treat you the way you should be treated. Yeah. And because part of it is we just kind of let the thing happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we might be angry about it afterwards, but you know, you were telling us in the full episode, and guys, I highly recommend you listen to the entire episode. We got into some really juicy conversation around even the experiences of women in color in STEM, and how all of us could be more observant, right? Whether you are a woman, period, color, not color, or not, obviously everybody has a color, but you know what I mean? Or a man in that room. But please, I urge you to listen to the episode so that you can dig deeper into that process. But I could go on and on once again, but you put together this wonderful resource, 3 tips on how to manage up. So I'm inviting you guys, if you are that woman of color who is a STEM professional, you are looking to ascend and excel as a STEM professional, you need this resource. I wish I had this like 20 years ago when I was in the pharmaceutical space.
Me too.
I know, right? You're like, that's why I wrote it. So please text RF for rocket fuel -power, POWER, I love it, to 411321 to receive the 3 tips on how to manage up. It's a short and powerful piece, and these are tips you could start implementing like tomorrow as you interact today, tomorrow, whatever it is that you, right. She's like, today. Don't wait till tomorrow, right? And remember to provide your email address if you've never texted a catchword, bam, and we can send it to you. But for those folks listening internationally, you could text to the number +1 909 741 1321. The message is RF-power. And if it asks for your email address, please provide it, and you will get this wonderful PDF, this wonderful guide that's going to help you just start chipping away. I mean, it's a long journey, Natoshia. This is why you've dedicated yourself, you know, to this process.
Yeah. This is not an overnight thing. This is going to take work.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're there for it. We're here for it.
Yeah. Well, I am so very grateful that you hopped on our show. You need to listen to more of Dr. Toshia in our longer episode, but it is truly obvious to me why you are #rocket fuel, Dr. Toshia. Thank you so much. Any parting words aside from listen to the longer episode?
I just really want women to know, women of color in STEM to know that you have the power to make all the difference in your own career. You just need to take control.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Excellent. Well, thank you, Dr. Toshia. And thank you, listener of the Rocket Fuel podcast. I hope you have a rockin' day. See you soon.